Welcome back here on the Senior Network. We are discussing seniors and scammers and all that stuff. Tell us a little bit more. We were talking, Becky, about your experience.
Well, we're talking. Like I said before, it's just I'm just amazed that the neat thing about the Cypress is that we're always evolving.
Right.
As the needs change for our members, the Cypress is always rising to the occasion, always the first to start a new program, to promote new senior interests. And one of the things that has risen to the surface is scammers, and how do we protect our members against that? And we've been very successful just in having lectures at the Cypress, whether it be from our local sheriff or our local prosecutors coming in and giving lectures on protecting your assets and protecting our folks against these scammers.
Are you seeing them like through telephone calls or
everything? They get things in the mail that your property is going in foreclosure, and I mean all sorts of things. Also, I got a call. It sounded like my grandson, but I'm not sure. But they're asking us to send money. We're like, no. We cut it off from the get-go.
It goes, Brian, back to what we were talking about. Family, you need someone, a trusted person you can rely on.
The key is picking a trusted person, because, of course, in the family context, mom and dad maybe have 3 or 4 or 5 kids, and we're preparing documents, and they're trying to decide which of their children is going to be the power of attorney. Right. So they don't want to offend anybody. Yeah, so they ask, well, name them all. If you could, anybody gets left out, they're not going to come to Thanksgiving dinner with us anymore. So let's put them in the document. So that's not really the criteria that should be used. Sure. The criteria that should be used in selecting someone who's going to have the power of attorney or be a trustee of your trust is trust and confidence. Sometimes proximity is important, but a lot of factors go into that. But trust would be the most important one, because a power of attorney in the wrong hands or a trustee with the wrong intentions can really do some serious financial damage. And people don't think, it's a difficult conversation, because here I am talking about their children and suggesting perhaps they don't trust each and every one of them, which is difficult to do sometimes. But the key is trust of family members and making good selections of who is going to be that person that you entrust with taking care of your finances.
Great point. I just thought about a question I have. Say a family member becomes the power of attorney, and say, like you said, there becomes a problem and an issue with that.
Right.
How do you go about changing that power of attorney?
It's difficult once it's been signed and once it's been used. The person who has it in their possession, they're under a legal obligation to only use the assets of their parents, for instance, for the parents. Right. You have to discover some kind of abuse, and then what you have to do is to legally revoke that power of attorney. Basically, is to go to court and obtain a guardianship or conservatorship. Of course, presuming that the person that signed the power of attorney, the parent, mom or dad, is no longer with capacity to sign a revocation. I mean, the simple solution is to go back to the parent and say, hey, you need to sign a revocation because sis is doing this or that with the money that she shouldn't be doing. Sure. Yes, signing a revocation would be the easy solution, but usually that's not available, because by that time the person doesn't have capacity. They can't sign a revocation. Yep. So what you have to do then is you'd have to go to court and have the power of attorney basically revoked and have a court-appointed conservator or guardian to be that person now in charge of the assets, which is time-consuming, costly, and it's really to be avoided if you can. Best solution then, once again, is to when you've signed that power of attorney and you appoint that person, make sure it's a person that you have full confidence and trust.
I have a question. I see a lot of folks where they'll have a child. One child is durable power of attorney, one is the healthcare power of attorney, and one is a financial power of attorney. Many times there's not a meeting of the minds with one's healthcare, but I hold the purse strings.
Right, right.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, having a different power of attorney in the healthcare power of attorney, like child A as the healthcare agent, and then having child B as the financial agent.
Well, who's paying the healthcare bills?
Yeah, that's not really such a bad arrangement. So we don't discourage that. What we do discourage is telling mom and dad when they have A and B, child A and child B, it's okay to name them as the financial power of attorney with equal ability and authority to pay the bills. Gotcha. Because when there is disagreement between A and B, that's where the problems start, and that's where you unfortunately end up going back to court.
Great
Wow.
information. Thank you so much. That's all the time we
Yeah.
have. Becky, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Please take a moment, if you will, email us any comments, questions that you may have, and thank all of you for joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. We'll see you next time.